Ask Julie for up. All right, we ran into broadcasting live and you're running around the floor. There's all these things. I'm Eric Swanson. I'm your host of Mojave River Valley News. And we've been doing a session for here and trying to show things that are not this high level here that you'd be doing like in a TV studio and so forth. What we're looking for is that things that you might be the first level that you buy involved in audio podcasting or video podcasting, and then maybe even also looking for have been doing either audio and you want to move to video, or maybe you've been doing both and you're saying, well, what is that next thing to look at? And then we're looking at a lot of stuff here for that higher end stuff. And like I said earlier, one of the things that we've talked about doing is even doing a little mini conference for folks, because as we're seeing more and more people that are wanting to get online, they want to share their story, what's happening here. So we're at the Canon booth. I love the jazz that's going on in the background here. And a lot of this, it's just a lot of people experimenting with cameras here. I don't know which ones are which here, but some of the entry-level cameras, if you can swing around over this side over here. It's about a $3,000 camera. Canon makes some cameras even cheaper than that, in the range of like $1,200 to $1,500 for a 4K camera to do whatever you need to do. So we just wanted to touch on the Canon booth here. Let's go ahead and move right through here, if we could. So above each of the cameras here, if we could swing back around, they have a monitor up here that's showing exactly what is on the camera. If that's a camera where you're working with, you want to learn more about, you'd come up and work with it. I'm looking at most of these cameras here. Most of them are all wireless cameras across here. So it makes it, there aren't any cables on the floor here. It's all wireless. All right, why don't we come back around? I don't think we made this side over here. Let's come on over here. A lot more lighting here. Boy, lighting is sure changing. I've never even seen a light like that up there before. The four that are flashing up on top up there, it's changing stuff. Really small remotes. Really small stuff. Some of these folks in here that I talked to somebody earlier before we were broadcasting, what they do is they rent the equipment. Maybe you have something you're going, you know what, I have this one job I want to do, but I need to do a certain effect here. I have a client, maybe you're at that level, and you want to do this, but you're saying, I can't afford to go out and spend $15,000 for a boom. Well, they rent it to you. So how many days you need it for it? They figure it out. More great cases, lights. That's a really bright LED. Boy, that's putting out some stuff. Nice. Or soft lights through here. You know, and simple stuff like this. It's just a clamp. It's clamped to a pole. It's flexible where you want to do. This one here would be lined up. Gimbals, just to kind of explain if you're not familiar with a gimbal. The big example, Ray, can I go ahead and show the gimbal over here? So what we're doing here is we have a GoPro, and for some reason it's upside down, but it doesn't really matter. And you notice no matter what I do here, the camera is going to stay level. You can buy gimbals now today for your cell phone. You just clamp it on. It's a similar clamp like this. Clamps onto the phone there, and you can go out and do some amazing, amazing video without spending the $2,000, $3,000 to get to the levels that you might want to get to later on. All right, let's come back around this way here. The upper area is closed. There's nothing even up there, William. Oh, except for over there. All right. One of the things that's really impressed me, and of course it's a lot of money, it's outside our limit. These are cameras that are like $7,000 to $10,000 range, and maybe up to the $15,000 range, where you're talking about, for example, the Reds and different cameras, but then you can put a separate lens on. The camera doesn't come with a lens. You guys have to go buy the lens. The cameras are getting so small, so light, you can send it up on a drone. Or try to figure out how to put a big, huge zoom lens on it. There's probably a $200,000 lens, maybe, I don't know. Who knows? It's even a 3D camera. It's designed for doing 3D. Of course, then you have to have the glasses. This looks like another sound booth here. Let's go ahead and move back through here, and then let's go up into the upper level here. Another good, we can swing around over here. All right, we're gonna pay you to sit at a desk 4 hours at a time to look at your cell phone and watch people videotape you. Well, we missed the shot that they stepped into it, but that's what it is. And sometimes you'll even, if you swing around this side over here, look through there. Sometimes you even get them to wave back, right? There you go. All right, let's come back over here. More cases. Cases are important. Your stuff's gonna get expensive as you start getting more of it. You gotta have good cases to put your stuff in. And remember, Mr. Cameraman, the people that are live are not seeing what you're doing on there, so make sure you get a chance to swing your camera around. Another case company. You're gonna have a lot of equipment over a period of time. You gotta take care of it. Converters, converting signal. Sometimes one of the challenges that we run through with even our stuff, we're going, all right, we got this signal coming out. Now how do we convert this? One of the things we've been working with a little bit lately is doing some video copying for folks. We're removing, for example, going from a 480i video and trying to bring it up to let's say a 1080p. It's about all you could do with it. And that's even pushing it. Really, it shouldn't be pushed that far. Today there's software, and I'm going to check to see if that company's in here. There's a piece of software out there that's an artificial intelligence. Because remember, if you have 480i, that's only so many dots in there. Then you expand it out to 1080p, those dots are missing. So what you do is you have a piece of software that says, I think that spot where it's not there before, I think it's this, and it does a pretty good job. We'll see in the future how well that industry is going to get better and better, where you're going to be able to take an old piece of film. Now, I'm not talking about the cinematic level where they're doing all this cleaning up a film or whatever. I'm talking about stuff that can be done in your own home. That's everything we want to talk about, is things that you're doing at entry level, second level, maybe third level. We don't want to talk about cinematic stuff that's happening out there. At what point can you do this from your own computer in your own house? So anyway, I was playing with that piece of software the other day to clean up this one little clip I had. I think it was tell me it was going to take 10 hours. But the computer's going to try to figure out what in the world all those pieces, the missing pieces are. So let's move back over here. So anyway, what we run into a lot is trying to figure more remote cameras. I shouldn't call them remote cameras. What they really are is they are cameras that are that you can, it's funny, you watch a TV program and maybe the person that is they're going to see some detectives walking into the room there, and they want to go and see some security footage. And the guy, when he displays, says, well, what we do is we take the little gizmo, we can move it all the way. A lot of the cameras you find in security today, they move all over the place. I think we were already at this side over here. I really believe we were. But I think what I want to do is loop around over here to this other side. Yes, we did. We were over here. I know it now. I recognize all this stuff here. Wait a minute, this is a photobomb. 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 He's like, who the heck is this guy? All right. Master clock. Clocking. This is something that it's not an entry-level thing. It's more of a second level or third level thing. And so if you're doing an outside video like I was talking about earlier, you have to have some way to sync up the video along with the audio. And you can do it one of two ways. You can go ahead and put it into your editor and say, all right, where that is. Or you might have a clapboard that you've seen as claps. So you can say, all right, I need to find that point in the audio where that matches up to the video. Or some people say, you know what, I'm just going to keep it simple, a simple clap. So they're lining up the audio and the video together. There's other ways of doing this with time codes. A time code would be placed on the audio, a time code on the video, and the software goes, okay, there they are, that's where they match up. So you don't have the mouth moving differently than what the audio track is doing. Let's move across over here, see what we can find. Audio restoration, boy, this is, I think this is a higher level product here, but this is so big for everybody out there, is getting the garbage, noise, out of your audio. We haven't even got into noise of video yet. We'll talk about that maybe later on. What you're talking about here is how in the world do you get rid of this stuff? We've done different videos where even though we had all this protection from the wind, you still hear the wind snapping through the mics, and you're really going, oh gosh, how'd that happen? We did a video piece that was down at LAX. Right in the middle while we're doing this big interview here, all these alarms came on and were blaring through the whole building there. So when we finally said, you know what, we have a choice. We can't shoot the audio again because it's already gone by. We can't go ahead and shoot the video. I mean, it's just already done. So what we had to do is said, all right, let's filter it out. So we're able to filter out a lot of the noise, but when we did that, there's certain frequencies of the voices we lost a lot on. So it's just the way it works. But those are second, third, and fourth level things that to think about. All kinds of audio. That's a beautiful board. All right. So I think what we need to do here, because there's only a ramp at that side, and there's a ramp that you can't get to that side, we may have to track back unless we want to carry it up the stairs. I'm asking my cameraman this question here because we need to get up there. So what would you like to do? We're going to do the ramp. When you're pushing around a dolly with a lot of weight, because we have a lot of equipment here that's on this dolly and so forth, and it's just not easy. And sometime I guess what the cameraman should do, William should do, is show what we're pushing around. Maybe we do that real quick. And the lighting, so is the lighting good enough here today? So what we have is we have our camera, we have the backpack that has all of our electronics in it that are broadcasting out. We have the dolly underneath that. Very simple product. What we have here is we have probably a $100 dolly. We have about a $200 tripod. The camera is about a $2,800 to $3,000 camera. We have the Kamicas we're using today. Those are about $500. That's the audio piece. We also have the signal that's being picked up by an encoder, and I think it's about a $400 encoder if I remember right. Also we have, correct me if I'm wrong, William, if I'm going the wrong direction on this, then we have this IP device that takes the signal from the encoder and sends it off to the wireless hotspot, and what we're using is a Netgear hotspot in here that's pushing out through 5G that's able to get the signal out to you. So anyway, those are kind of the fun things that we're doing here. Not a lot of money, but it's a little bit of money, but this is not, what we're doing today, this is not entry-level things. This is a second, third, this is really probably a third or even a fourth level. This isn't like that 10th level stuff they do at the studios, but you know what? It works, doesn't it? Let's head down this way to the ramp. I don't know if you can get a close-up on this here. This would actually go on a rack here. So each of the buttons is showing that feed is for that button. Yeah, popular. It's getting more popular. This type of boards where you see in the video, so you can see it all live. You're not worrying about what you see up here.
Yeah,
nice.
Absolutely.
It's a little bit above what we're doing of our audience here.
Yeah.
This audience is for. All right, let's get around here. Touch screen consoles. I don't know. Like we showed at CES, this convention floor is absolutely huge. And when we get back up here, I want the camera to be able to turn around and show you where it came from. You can see how far it is at this end over here still. But if you could swing, this room, from what I could tell today, was about, I don't know, 70% full. Usually this room is packed. This is the premium room to be in. To the south here, there are two more rooms that are not, I would say combined, they might be as big as this whole room here. They're not even being used this year, and that's normal for NAB to use these. We still have this other area over here we're going to get to. Let's take a look and see what we can find. Now, if you noticed earlier, we were looking at the control board that had the little picture above every switch here. And see above here they have the screens that are showing all the different camera shots. Still a little bit above what we're looking for today, but it's good stuff to know and understand about. So we got a little traffic jam here. You get through here, okay? It's your cameraman, there we go. Traffic jam. Upper level control equipment. So this is Panasonic showing their stuff. I don't know. I don't see very many of the entry cameras here, but there might be in here. Let's see what they have. Moving through our this camera that we are like on pods here. If you were looking at that we're right, it's probably that model right there. Let's head across over here. Yep. And again, Panasonic is the same type of thing. They have a display, they have a tablet in the background, and they really are doing it like in the studio. Now, we showed you a camera just a minute ago we're using today. And you're thinking, well, Eric, this looks like Well, we took some time. We didn't get to this camera right off the bat. We were doing a lot of different effects. We were trying to figure out how to, in fact, we were working with 1080p cameras that went down the line. So anyway, it's a jam area. All right, let's come back down here, see what we can find here. Broadcast monitors. We talked about earlier about the quality, if you're going to put money into your system, about what you should be putting it into. Very, very important, because the monitor you'll be editing with, probably these monitors are probably $1,000, $2,000 a monitor. You don't need to get into that level. Get yourself into a nice 4K monitor that that you have a lot of pixel density on, and that's probably about it'll be more than he needs. The question that you have to ask is, okay, Eric, I have one monitor in front of me, and then you're going to start growing and say, you know, I have more monitors, man. You have something over here doing what it needs to do. That's getting more popular. So I guess the next question will be, is do our video studios go out and saying, when do we need that 4th, 5th, or not quite there. So I think that's an acoustic company over there. If you're going to do your own sound room and stuff, you want to make sure acoustics. Oh, that's an acoustic sound booth. I don't know if we could actually get the equipment in there, but I think what you would find is that it is dead silent. Dead silent.
Great. Once again, if you get back.
And you can build a room like that. It costs you a few dollars. Soundproof the walls there. It says, where do I need to get rid of sound that's actually reflecting around out there? And you make ways for the sound to go out even. All right, let's take a look over here. So it's always fun to see somebody else doing the same thing they're doing little pieces of stuff here. But if you notice what he has a camera that's on the gimbal there with a lens on it. This is a whole different way of taking care of this. Looks like they're going to do another scene for whatever they're trying to do here. This is probably more of a commercial cut here. They're probably doing it for, I can't make out the name on it. He's got 2 cameras on him. He has the cell phone camera and his regular camera. He has his gimbal, and he's going to probably pull back from it. He's got a shot of it. They're actually doing pieces they're cutting. We're doing this whole thing live. The nice thing about doing it live is, and we got